Suppose that I start off with a ball with this mass and velocity, and another ball going in the opposite direction and hitting each other and then bouncing off again. And suppose that after they bounced off, the one ball, the yellow ball bounce off in, let's see, in an opposite direction. Okay, with say with a speed of maybe 0.5 meters per second, and let's say the green ball bounces off with a speed of, say, maybe 2 meters per second. Oh no, actually no, that's not what I want, is it? Now let's say it bounces off with a speed that I don't know, and the question is, how can I find this? Okay, so that's the problem. Okay, right, so let's try and use the momentum conservation equations to solve this problem. Right, we'll start by writing down that equation. That would be m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Okay, it's helpful that we already have a picture to look at. So alright, so we already have the symbols for m1, m2, u1, u2. Now let's decide on, right, let's think about v1, v2. v1, v2, so that would be v1. That is the ball number 1 of the bouncing off, and that will be v2. That is what we need to find. Question mark. Okay, v2 is what we want. So it is really just a matter of substituting these numbers in and then solving for it. But be careful about the directions. Remember that when we have motion along a straight line, we have to decide whether which right or the left is positive. So here we've decided that the right hand side is positive. So therefore I must start giving signs to my velocities. So there are these signs for u1 and u2. I need a sign for v1. v1 goes to the left, so it should be minus. v2 we don't know, so we'll find out after we solve the equation. So in principle, I can just substitute the numbers into the equation and solve for v2. Now I'm going to do what I usually do. I would first rearrange this equation using some algebra to make v2 the subject. v2 is the number that I want to find. Okay, let me do that. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Okay. Now come to think of it, in this case I wonder if it might get a little bit easier if I just bring the numbers right. In this case, I just realized that the numbers are quite small numbers, So it could be that if I substitute the numbers in first, it might actually be simpler. So let me try that for once. Let me try that. Okay, M1 U1. So M1 is 0.5, U1 is 2. So let me do that. 0.5 times 2 plus M2U2, M2 is 0.3, so 0.3 times minus 1. Right, be careful with the minus sign. 0.3 times minus 1. 0.3. Now, with the minus sign, I'm going to put a bracket around it, just to make sure that I don't confuse. I'm not confused that this is actually 0.3 minus 1, but really it's 0.3 times minus 1. Okay. Now next, moving on to the next part, M1V1. Right, M1V1 right here. 1 is 0.5, 0.5. V1 is minus 0.5. So 0.5 times minus 0.5 times minus 0.5. Okay, I'll put again bracket around it to avoid confusion. Plus M2 times V2. M2 is 0.3, V2 is what I want. Fine. 0.3 times the unknown V2. So okay, it doesn't look too bad. So I shall next simplify, calculate some answers. 0.5 times 2 is 1. 0.3 times 1 is 0.3. I have a minus sign there, so it becomes 1 minus 0.3. 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25. And I have a minus sign there. Plus 0.3 V2. Okay, so let me simplify those. Now I have 1 minus 0.3, which is 0.7. That can move over to the other side. Be 0.7 plus this is 0.95. Okay, 0.95. Okay, so on the right side I have 0.3 V2. So therefore, I can find the final answer. V2 is equal to 0.3 to the other side. So, okay, 0.95 divided by 0.3. And the answer is, let's see, that would be, move the points over, and then 9 over 3 is 3.5 over 3. Okay, so 1 actually is 31. No, it's not 31. Okay. It's 3.17. Okay, I'm trying to do this mentally. Right, I think that's correct. So 3.17 meters per second, that's velocity. And the answer, there's no minus sign, so that means it's a positive. So this answer tells us that this velocity V2 is 3.17 meters per second, and the direction is in the positive direction, which is to the right. Okay, so in giving the answer to such a question, it would be better not to just leave the answer as it is, because it's quite, when we get used to this, it's easy to just automatically assume that we take the right hand side to be positive without actually saying it, and then giving the answer and assuming that the answer is obvious as to what direction it is. So just to make everything very clear, I put a plus sign here. So in terms of if you're doing this for fun, it doesn't matter. But if you're actually doing this to answer a question, okay, you need a written answer for this question. It's always good to start, by maybe stating which direction is positive. So in this case, I choose the right side, or right hand side. I choose the right hand side as positive. Okay, and after getting the final answer with a plus sign there, so it's better to give a more simple description of what this answer means. So instead of just leaving the answer as it is, I can say, right, I can say that the answer is 3.17 meters per second. I can add these words to the right. Okay, that would be quite brief, or you can just make a longer and clearer sentence. So either way, this gives us the full answer. 3.17 meters per second. To the right is the velocity of v2.